heard him as the voice of Native. Please welcome Josh Martin. Next one to the stage, we know him as the voice of Cementos, Mr. Chris Ranger. And here's the voice of Tokoyami and Ashido, Josh Grelle.
Sorry about that.
Next, ladies and gentlemen, she's the voice of May Hatsusome. Please welcome Alexis Tipton. He is the voice of the All Might. Please welcome Mr. Chris Sabat.
Thank you.
Last and absolutely not least, we know as the voice of Mina. Please put your hands together for Miss Caitlin Glass. Wow. Hi guys, good morning.
Hi. Morning.
How are we all doing today?
Awkward start, but good.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll try to improve. What I'd love to do is love to open up and hear how each of you got originally involved in this amazing series.
I begged. We all knew that My Hero Academia was coming down the pipe, and I knew that I wanted it. So I begged for them to let me direct it, and it worked apparently. So I am directing it, and I chose myself for Momo because I feel like she and I have a lot of associations back in high school. That is absolutely who I was.
Colleen was kind enough to call me in for an audition, and off of a couple of characters that we read, she ended up casting me as Tokoyami off of one of those auditions. I love it.
I was walking down the hallway one day, and Colleen goes, "Hey, Chris, you're kind of like a block of cement, right?" She's like, come here. And that's how that happened.
That is not how that happened.
100% true.
Colleen was also kind enough to call me in for an audition. There's a theme here. And I read for a few of the other female roles, and then she said, I got these other sides for a character on the support team. I didn't know what that meant at the time. And she was like, she may not show up for a while, but I'd like you to read for her. And so that was May Hatsume. And I did, and she had me do a couple interesting different reads, tweaked my voice a few times, because she had an idea of how she wanted a few different characters to sound, but wasn't sure where to put voices and everything. You know, she knew you wanted one character to have speech impediments, and so we kind of tried that for May and things like that. And so I read for it, and then like a year later, when May finally showed up, she was like, "Do you remember this?" No, and then she showed me a picture. I was like, "Oh yes! Oh, I'm so excited! Yay!" So that's how that happened.
Yeah, Colleen also had something in mind for All Might, and so when she had me audition for it, she had me audition for it about 500 times, I think.
Also a lie.
That is not a lie. That is not a lie. I actually remember pacing around my house and her going like, "Look, I got your last audition. It was good, but I just want to hear something a little different from it." I'm like, "Okay, fine, I'll do you another one." And then I remember another conversation like, "It's getting really close. I really like where it's headed, but I mean, if you don't want it, that's fine. Like, it's cool. It's probably going to be a good show, and if you don't really want to audition for it, you don't have to." I'm like, "Come on." Okay, I may be exaggerating a little bit, but yeah, it's one of those things where when you have a super deep voice, and Chris and I know this because we look for these things, it doesn't show up in anime very often, and if it does, you're usually like big ogre dude who is in one episode or something like that. So when there are decent roles for guys with deeper voices, it's always something we get super excited about and our ears perk up.
Yeah, but my competition is this guy. All right, so just...
Chris will come to me and goes, "Hey man, would you mind not auditioning for this?"
Like, "Hey man, which one are you going?" "Oh, damn, and you got son of a..."
I was like, "But Chris, you got a head that's shaped like a bucket, dude. It's like, you're perfect."
I'm like, okay.
Like all of my colleagues here, I auditioned for the show. I'm pretty certain Mina was in the audition sides, but I think a lot of us females read for all of the female parts, and also Minetta. And I'll be honest, Minetta is the part that I really wanted. I didn't know that. It is, because it was just so different. But I had a feeling about Mina when I read for her. Basically, Colleen just had a certain reaction that let me know, oh, I gave her whatever it is she wanted. I think I did it just now. So I thought, if I'm cast as anyone, it'll probably be Mina, and then that's what happened. And here we are.
I'd say we're so glad to have you all here. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Colleen.
Yeah, thanks, Colleen. It's all because of you.
It's Funimation.
Colleen doesn't like
Thanks.
to brag on herself that much. But there's something I really like. Colleen was like, oh, and I begged to direct it. And so they let me direct it. But it's not like, Colleen didn't have to do that at all. It's not like Colleen, they said, all right, Colleen, you're going to get a show this season, so pick which one you want. Colleen could have just said, no, I don't want to direct this. And she could have just sat in her office and did like her normal 40-hour-a-week job that she has at Funimation. And it's so hard to direct a show and work a full-time job at the same time. And Colleen wanted this show so badly, she decided to do both. And I know how hard it is because I've been there and I've done it and I don't do it anymore. And it's because it's really hard because the whole time you want to have like this ownership over the show and you really want everything to be perfect. At the same time, you just watch your email inbox just start stacking up with the emails that you have to answer that you can't answer until after the session. So thank you, Colleen, for doing it.
Yay, Funimation.
Colleen. What has been the best experience of being involved with the My Hero series?
Start down there this time.
I think what's so amazing to me about it is this opportunity right here, what we're having right now, especially that. I got started in voice acting in 2004 with a little show called Full Metal Alchemist. And I, with a lot of people seated here at this table. And then I was just a young thing, fresh out of college, and thought that the insanity surrounding that fandom and that experience, that nothing could top it. And then I would just relish that for the rest of my life, and I do. But here we are again, seeing that same level of excitement and love for this creation, and I'm just so very grateful and humbled that just to be a part of it. So that's the best part to me.
Yeah, I would mirror exactly what she said, except there's something even more cool that's happening that doesn't get to happen very often, is that there's this interesting collaboration between Japan and the United States. And we got Full Metal Alchemist, it was still, like, you could email yeah, it was still took a while for email to send, there was no such thing as Skype or whatever. Like, they're just, and I don't know, maybe the culture wasn't quite ready for it yet, but it seemed like we were entering into this like show that we realized it was going to be extremely popular, and we were kind of walking hand in hand with the Japanese at the first, let's see, when it was first premiered, it was at Anime Expo, and we got to meet the producers and the director, and hopefully I'll get to meet some of the cast someday, and we met the creator, and that's just something that we didn't even realize we'd ever get a chance to do. And I met Akira Toriyama one time, the guy who created Dragon Ball, and I didn't realize I was never gonna see that dude again. So, and because he's apparently pretty agoraphobic, and so when I met Koei, I was absorbing every single word he said because I was going to remember it because maybe I'd never get to see this guy. But they're approving auditions and really working with Funimation, I think, a lot. Colleen could probably speak a little bit more on exactly what the collaboration is, but it's just cool to like perform in front of the people who create this show as well.
Everything they said. I also think that something that makes this show so special is that it came about during a time that I don't think could have been better, especially in the United States, because around the time that this started premiering in dub was when Marvel was making all the movies and like superheroes were in again, and like it was this giant kumbaya, like Marvel and DC, and like everybody loves superheroes no matter what. And so then to have an anime that localized so easily into English, because sometimes we get shows where we run into that where it was huge in Japan, but in the translation process and the cultural translation process, some of it gets lost or it's not as appreciated as it is in Japan. But I think My Hero was so incredibly popular in the United States because we have such an appreciation for superheroes, because superheroes were already so popular here. So I think that just made it really special, and it's something that has brought people into the fandom, you know? People that don't typically watch anime are like, oh yeah, well, I watch My Hero, that's awesome. And I see a lot of families enjoying it together. A lot of families saying, oh yeah, you know, we sit down and it's something I can share with my kids, or my kids got me into this. And it's really, really awesome when we can have a show that brings people together like that. So that's been a really, really special part of this whole thing too.
As the foundation of this I truly like to lay the concrete and cement for and why the sport. No, honestly, when I heard about this show, I was kind of excited because I was like, oh, this is a popular show, and it looks like it has some interesting characters, and that could be a lot of fun. So I started watching it, you know, and I don't really watch a lot of anime in my own time, and it turned out that, you know, I got cast into kind of a little bit later on or whatever, but I kept watching it. And you know, I was like, you know, these are characters we relate to. It borrows from a lot of worlds and places. You know, you have a little bit of, you know, that you know, with great power comes great responsibility. You know, this passing on of a lineage and those kinds of things. You know, it pulls and borrows from all these things that we know and relate and love to. And I don't know, I just really like the show. So,
What they said.
I'll add that it's great for My Hero to be happening at a time when simuldubs are happening, because there's this synergistic thing that happens when we can put something out and you guys get to see it at the same time, and that way we're not recording an entire season and then waiting a year to see your reactions. So it's so great to put an episode out, to know that, get excited about, I just recorded this episode, it's a great episode, and then watch the internet. Oh my gosh, I love it! And we didn't used to get to do that. We had no idea what the reactions were going to be to our performances, or how the scripts were handled, or the show itself, until it was out on DVD. And now with the advent of simuldubs, we actually get to have that energy between us and the fans, and that's really, really worth its weight in gold.
And my last question for you is an inevitable one, so I'll ask it anyway. If you could choose your own quirk, what would it be?
We talked about this backstage. We're all stealing one from somebody else, I think. Maybe not Chris. He comes up with a different one every time. But I'm stealing from my husband. I want the power to touch something and diagnose what's wrong with it. Like, you touch a car and you know what's wrong with it, or if you touch a person, you know how to heal them. You can't heal them. That could be somebody else's job, but know what's broken inside. My soul.
Everything.
Spooky recovery girl.
Right? No joke. Oh wait, doesn't she have to? No. No.
But it's Lucy Christian.
I know, that's fun, but okay. I would steal from, I'm stealing from Ian Sinclair on this one. I would like the power to put the USB drive in the right way the first time, every time.
I think I would like the power to invoke Chris Sabat at any moment. Right, just you know, and he'd show up and be like, hey man, hold on, I gotta take this, and he'd just walk away.
Oh man, I think I'd like the power to, I mean, obviously it would have limitations, but you know, like, to touch something and have it turn into what I actually wanted. Like, oh, someone handed me a water. I really wanted a Sprite. Oh, it's a Sprite now. You know, something like that. I think that'd be cool.
Jesus had that power, I think.
I said with limitations.
Okay. He is without limit, after all. Let's see. I try, like, I knew this was going to be a question that we were going to get asked all the time, so Justin Briner and I have been trying really hard to kind of come up with a new quirk every time we're asked. For this weekend, I would like the power to be able to channel Wi-Fi from anywhere, so that I have really strong Wi-Fi anywhere I am. Yeah. So So that when other heroes need to check their email or whatever while they're heroing, they always have reception.
I love, can I just interject that I love how poorly that's gonna age? Like if somebody watches this panel 10 years from now, they're gonna be like,
What's Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi?
You just want people to call you Hotspot.
Wow, that's my new hero name. Thank you. I'm remembering that.
I have trouble choosing between these two, so I'll give them both. One is, I would like to be able to regulate my body temperature at all times, so I would always be comfortable wherever I am. Like right now, I'm freezing. And the other is, I'd like to be able to eat whatever the heck I want, whenever I want.
Yeah.
Not affect
There's several of those quirks on the show.
jealous.
Well, outstanding. What I'd like to do now is I'm going to bring the microphone over here, and I'm going to invite all of our members of our audience to come on up and ask a question. Just keep in mind our 3 basic rules. You get 1 question, and if you want to ask more, you by all means go back to the end of the line. We're going to set it up over here. Second half of it too is by all means come right out and introduce yourself, say your name, but jump right into your question. And 3, finally, feel free to ask a question. Please don't make a request. What is a request? Don't ask them for a hug. Don't ask them to speak anything in their character voices and things like that. So, and of course, as always, the first one gets 2 pieces of candy.
If the line goes that way, then those people will still be able to see.
Yeah, that's right.
You're a
Come along
hero,
this way
Colleen.
and then through the back wall. There you go.
Line management.
There you go.
There needs to be a quirk at conventions where, like, if you're last in line to ask a question, somehow you're transported to the front of the line.
You still need your question asked.
Our quirks are awful for fighting. We're assuming that this is not a world in which super villains exist.
Dude, being last in line at a panel is like the worst because you will either get your question answered or you will have just standed for the end.
Yes,
Standed.
Standard.
I think grammar might need to be.
Or I will have
Fully
English.
stimulated for the whole panel. Dude, no more 11 a.m. Sunday panels.
Praise Jesus.
It is Sunday.
His new name is Hotspot.
Well, I know someone in my universe named Hotspot. Nice to go. Okay, hi, I'm Avatar Korra, and first off, about the AC, sorry, that was me. If your characters were part of the Avatar universe, what type of bender would they be?
I know nothing about the Avatar universe.
Water, earth, fire, or air?
Oh, alright. Earth. She likes to make things.
Tokoyami would be air, I think. So he could finally fly.
Oh, that's so sad.
That brought the moon down, jeez.
I would say earth because I
Cement.
can't control cement in the forest.
Or the water.
I think
Okay,
May
Colleen.
would just want to study everybody of all 4 elements. Or find the airbender and study them.
I think All Might would probably be an earth bender because he bends the earth. I have no idea.
Well, you're technically the Avatar.
I love Janet Varney. That's all I know.
Mina, probably water, very similar to acid. So.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, my name is Christian. I was just wondering, besides your own like personal ultimates, like for example, like Abyss of Black Abyss and stuff like that, or like United States of Smash, what ultimate would you like besides your own? Whose ultimate do you like, character-wise?
Man, it's really hard to beat United States of Smash. Best moment in the show. It's best power, probably. I'm gonna go with that. Yeah.
That's when I saw that, I was like, Mustang!
Yeah, that was mine, Texas Smash.
I just want Mina's ultimate to be revealed, or really just Mina to be in the show more.
United States of Smash was awesome, but I actually love the double Detroit Smash they did in the movie. That was
Thank you.
Colleen, someone asked me this in line, and people have asked me this before. Sorry, I'm asking my own question. Has he ever said why he named all of All Might's attacks?
No, I haven't seen that even in the manga. Like, I haven't seen the specific reason.
Because I know in the movie he said, hey, I named this one after your country or something like that. So I guess when you're in hero school, I guess you make up all your own names for things. So he just decided he was just going to do a whole... I want to find out, though. If anyone out there knows, please tell me.
I mean, it really might be because he was supposed to be so Americanized. Like, maybe it was just like, all things in America.
Hi.
My name is Kara. I know you guys are, group of heroes and everything, but I'm curious who your favorite villain is and why.
There's so many good ones.
There's lots of good ones.
Like in the show or in
Yeah, in the
life?
show.
I really like the, it's Ted Williams' character, the one with that.
Mr. Compress?
Yeah, is that the one that's like all shadow and he can teleport them and everything?
No, that's Chuck Huber.
Oh, that's Chuck's character. Okay, yeah, I like that.
I'm gonna go with Twice because that's a crazy character. I don't know. That's kind of just me going, that's a really cool character. But really, in the show, I probably like Shigaraki the best. So that is also my answer.
Yeah, mine was the same as Josh's here.
What's Lee's character?
Oh, Toga. She's awesome.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm a real big Shigaraki fan too.
Yeah.
I was trying to come up with something else, but it's just like, it makes for an interesting cosplay because people, it's interesting to see what people use as the hand over their face, so.
And I want to hear more about what the hands are about. And he has a good arc, because, he's going to come into his own as a villain at some point, and not be lame, and not not have all of these overreactions to things. I want to see how he transforms into, like, the tactician that All For One wants him to be.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Hey, here you go.
Don't forget your candy.
It's okay, it's right here.
Overhaul's awesome too, by the way.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is James.
Hey, James.
Hey, and my question is, thank you. My question is, if there's any big crossover events that you would like my hero to be part of, like a Marvel or Disney or something like that, what would it be and why?
I would have said another anime that we know, but now I'm on Marvel. Yeah. Like a crossover with our characters in another
I want to cross over with Dragon Ball because when All Might inevitably dies in this series, they need to bring him back with the Dragon Balls.
Hey Chris, what have you done to ensure that All Might is not going to die?
Well, I did offer the show creator, when I told you I met him before, I did try to bribe him. I said, I'll give you $50 if you don't kill All Might. Oh, I don't think I can take the bet. And I don't know if he was saying that because he's going to kill him anyway, or if he's just actually a good person and probably wouldn't let people bribe him into making a decision.
Hi guys, my name is Chris. Good to see you all again. More character development question. I'm going to take a quote real quick from The Legend of Korra. When you hit your lowest point, you are open to the greatest change. So for your characters in MHA, where do you feel that point was for each of your characters, if there was one?
Beat me really badly.
I did, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's right.
It was kind of not fair, too. He just spams the same attack over and over again. It's like playing against the worst Super Smash Brothers character. It's just like, nope, you're out, bye. I win. I'm not sure if we've hit Toko's lowest point yet, but for now, I'd say probably in the woods when, losing control of Dark Shadow for that brief moment was probably, I think it shook him.
Yeah.
I'm really waiting for a little more backstory on my he says a lot of good things about All Might, but I don't really know where he came from or how he was made. I don't know everything there is to know about him. Do you? Tell me.
I'm not that far in the manga yet.
Right? Oh, well, are you
We are
coming?
there.
How far are you? Because
I'm at least like as far as the manga goes, I'm at least midway through season 4.
all right.
I would say his
So it doesn't look good. Is what you're saying.
I've read forward. I think his lowest point is the first time he tries to go swimming in the ocean. Yeah, because he's singing.
Oh, we got it.
Yeah, just in case.
We got it.
Because he's made of, he's a
Yeah, no, we got it, Sabat.
and it's in the water.
You can't breathe underwater. We get it.
I don't think May ever has a low point because I don't think she knows what that is, and since she doesn't fight, there's not as much at stake for her because she's just. As long as investors are taking notice of her work, I think that's all she cares about.
Her lowest point is when she doesn't get that patent.
Yeah. She's like, well, okay, on to the next one.
More ideas.
More ideas.
There was this time when All Might got really injured, I think. That was a pretty low point.
Yeah, I remember that. Mina is such a social creature, so for her, she just doesn't like to be left out. So like her lowest point was like when she had to go to summer school, she didn't get to go be with everybody else during that time. She's like, I don't want to not go to camp. Like, I think that for her is worse than losing a fight or something like that. She's got to be in it with everybody.
Great
Thank
question.
you guys so much.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
So I think one of the best things in My Hero Academia has to be the relationship between Izuku and All Might. So how would you compare that relationship to the one between Piccolo and Gohan?
Let's see. I guess it's maybe it's because All Might actually gives Deku something useful. And doesn't abandon him in the woods. So, I'm sorry, probably wasn't the answer you were looking for. Piccolo by far is the best, father in Dragon Ball.
Oh, far enough.
But yeah,
Oh man, I'm a pretty good dad in that show. I'm a single dad raising a daughter in a world of flying dudes shooting laser beams at her head.
a daughter and a 4-year-old. Like,
yeah. So I mean, at least come in second.
Thank you. Hi.
Hello. Hi, I'm Julie. What if you guys were instead of heroes, you would be villains? Like, how different would your quirks be if you guys were villains instead of heroes?
A full-on armory. I'm just pulling out weapons.
I don't think it would really change all that much, except you'd probably just stay in darkness at all times and just run wild, like.
I figured you could manipulate cement and concrete for both good and bad. Bring some buildings down, it's right back up.
Yeah, same thing for May. I think it'd be the same gadgets, just on villains instead of heroes.
I think All Might would just run around eating everybody's hair.
I'm stealing your power.
I think Mina would be called Acid Trip, and she would just make drugs and
Amazing.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep.
Yes, hello. My hopefully simple question is, how much fun have you guys had voicing your characters here?
Yay.
Yay.
Simple question. Lots of fun. We love it.
We love doing it. I have to say, I spent a lot of time cursing at Momo and being like, just get some confidence. Go be as cool as you could possibly be. I think we all, but they gave every character flaws for a reason.
It's really cool to see, we don't see him too terribly often, but every time we do, he's improved a little bit, he's gotten stronger, and he's still kind of a mystery too, so it's really fun to be like, I'm just always waiting to see, okay, what are we going to learn about him next?
The fun part for Chris is in this episode.
Right. The fun part is I was coming out of a little streaming thing the other day, and Colleen did catch me in the hallway. This did happen. Chris, come here. I have something to do. One line, bro. One line. I'm gonna call Japan and be like, yo, he can control cement. Let's give me a story arc in there or something, you know, let's get down in the nitty-gritty of it.
May's kind of a vocal wild card. As long as it fits in the flaps, it's pretty much anything goes. And it's been really, really fun collaborating with Colleen on the comedy aspect of that, because you think, oh, you have so many possibilities, that should make it easier, but it actually makes it a lot more difficult, so it's nice having Colleen help me with that.
Fun. You do her so well.
Oh,
She's so fun. And it's really fun to collaborate on that, but more just we get a lot of takes, not because the first one isn't awesome, because the first one's awesome, but because you're capable of doing so many different things that I want to just keep going and see what else you do.
Oh,
so that I can be like, oh, now I want that one and that one and that one.
Thank you. Well, and that's the best, like, you know, because obviously I need to be able to bring it enough to have earned the role, but it's also amazing to have a director that can help me take it to the next level. Like, that's always so important to me. So
Y'all want to sit together?
yeah! Thanks for letting me gush about how awesome Colleen is. Oh.
It's such a great show, and it is cool knowing that you guys like it so much, and knowing how important it is to people already. Like, it's shocking to me. You know, we didn't figure out really what Dragon Ball meant to people until like 10 years later, it seems, because everyone was like 6 when they first watched it. But like, but it's interesting to know how important these shows are to people, and we're all pretty good at this. I'm not bragging or anything, but we've been doing this a long time, and it's nice to be able to use your skills that you've developed on a show that's so well written, so well directed, and so well received by everyone too. So there's a lot of pressure. I mean, we do a lot of takes, as Colleen said, not necessarily because the last one was bad, but just because we're like, can we do a better one? Can we do something that's even better? So we take the responsibility of these characters very, like, we take it on our shoulders. It's very important to us. So.
I have nothing to add to that. That's a great way to end that question.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Maria, and my question is, if you were stranded on a deserted island, which character that you've acted would be most useful to you?
That you've acted just changed my answer.
So any character we
Any
would,
character.
would be the most useful in getting off the island, or
Just
surviving the island?
Surviving.
Oh. So we're not getting off the island, we have to survive the island.
I mean, if you want to get off, that's up to you.
Oh, no, I need more specifics. Oh, man.
Well, I'm not going to build a cement raft.
Vegeta can fly, so he can get off the island.
Yeah, Trunks can fly too, fly off the island. If I was trapped on the island and couldn't get off the island, May might be good to, like, you know, build a house, make gadgets to get food and survive. But yeah, any character that can fly would probably be the best to get off the island. So hey, Hercule doesn't fly.
Well, I'm gonna say I'm not sure many of my characters have useful traits for this. Like, one guy just blows crap up all the time.
So if anyone ever asks you what your typecast is, you'd be like, characters that couldn't get off a deserted
Exactly.
island.
Characters that would die on a deserted island. What? He doesn't have anyone he doesn't have E-class to crap on all day. You know, I don't know. What would he do?
Momo can create anything. I'd do that. Although we really do need somebody who can help with food.
The Grand Priest from Dragon Ball, he can create literally anything.
Yeah.
Food, raft, even if it's cement.
Well, maybe I could, like, create, like, a walkway
You need
across the
cement.
ocean.
You don't create cement, you need cement to manipulate.
Well, that ruins that.
Wait, mind you can
But
create cement.
I am cement, though. I don't make extra cement.
My dude will make the cement, and then you can manipulate.
Oh, dude, there you go. I need Josh with me on the island.
Dragon Ball seems to be the answer, because I'm also going to say Vados from Dragon Ball, being that she's this all-powerful angel. But if she's stuck there, I mean, she always has Lord Champa with her because he can't survive without her, so she could, like, kill him to eat him.
It lasts a while.
Well, but he always has ramen, inexplicably, so she could, like, steal his ramen and eat it, and then, like, make a boat out of it, and, like, sail home. Just a thought.
Thank you very much.
Ochako.
If you could voice act any other character in My Hero Academia, like you could instantly get the part, which one would it be?
Technically, I could just kick any of them.
Wait, did you say that we'd be easily cast as?
Yeah. Well, no, it's just
that
like
any
you
part.
could instantly
Oh.
get that part. Like, if you want it, you can.
Oh my.
Mineta, I want to be Mineta! Let me be Mineta. Or Bakugo.
Oh, yeah. Except, do you want to be Bakugo?
Yes, scream.
I would never want to be
no.
Bakugo.
I don't care.
I would not.
It's not real. This isn't real.
The screaming is real.
I'm not really gonna be Bakugo.
I wanna-
That's why. It's all hypothetical.
There might be like some episode where you get shoved in someone else's body and you have to voice that character. Who knows?
I look forward to that episode. Great.
What's the name of the principal?
Oh, Nezu?
Yeah, I want to be Nezu. He's so crazy.
He is awesome. His quirk is great. I picked Todoroki because he's the coolest character with the best quirk, and he doesn't have to yell or do much of anything, and he's still super popular. So.
Yeah, he's like the Zoro of the show.
Yes, he is.
Not gonna lie, I totally thought you were gonna be like, because he's the coolest character and the hottest character.
Like, he is.
I know, I'll see myself out. I'm going home today.
Thank you.
Chris, you didn't answer that question.
I did.
Hey, I'm Samuel, so you probably have met me before, but if I can ask, what is your favorite character in the show and your least favorite character in the show?
Todoroki, Endeavor. Endeavor is the literal worst.
What's Cliff's character's name?
Bakugo.
Yeah, Bakugo. He's a little kind of fun. He was my kid. Well, least favorite.
Oh, okay.
Least favorite. Me. I really like All Might. Don't tell Sabat though.
Do you guys want to sit together?
Not fanboy.
Just plotting his death.
I think I sat in a hot spot here. Ew.
I'm not caught up, so I haven't met all the characters yet. So I don't feel like I can have an honest, like a true opinion until I've met everybody.
I love, oh man, I forgot, what's Brina's character's name?
Mineta.
Mineta, thank you. It just went blank. I love Mineta, that is like such a freaking funny character to me. And my least favorite is probably All for One, sort of, yeah. I don't like that guy. He's not very nice.
I love Bakugo. I love him. He's a disaster. It's a mess, and that's why I like him so much. Least favorite, while I love Elizabeth Maxwell, I don't like Midnight because she wouldn't let me be called Alien Queen, which is a far better hero name than Pinky. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
All this Mineta love is probably frying your brains because you guys hate Mineta. Fans hate Mineta.
We just love
Fans in Japan love Mineta.
Yeah. We love him, I think, because he's just so different. Like, we
work on a lot of anime. Like when you put together all the shows that all of us have been in, sometimes it's hard to find a character that feels very original in every way. And while a little pervy character is not terribly original, just, I mean, his design, how he sounds.
Well, and I don't think we would like him as much if it wasn't Brina.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
Brina does
We like
it.
Brina.
It's amazing. Yeah, and we all love Brina. So
Yeah, that's
by
what it
default,
is.
we love Brina.
Hi, if your respective character was a villain, what would their name be?
Nevermore.
We kind of say that.
Yeah, she answered one.
Okay, sounded good.
Hotspot, right?
Armory. She created weapons.
That sounds French.
Almory.
Nevermore.
Oh, reference, yes. It does. Well, I'll tell you what.
Urban sprawl.
Yeah, I know, he was racking it up.
Lex Luthor, I guess.
Acid trip.
I like that one.
Hey, well, I'll tell you what, we'll come back to you. Think about it. We'll need to you can springboard it. So.
Okay.
All right. So go. Thank you.
Hello. Have you ever based a character, whether now or before, on real people, like their voice or their mannerisms or something?
No, next question.
I get to it, right? I get to it.
There we go. I do know that J. Michael Tatum, who voices Ida, I mean, he gesticulates a lot anyway, but he has started doing this a lot. And because it used to be very like, yeah, I'm talking and everything's very flowy, and now it's like this, and he's like, I'm doing it again. And so, I mean, that's basically him anyway, that character, but I have never seen an animated character's mannerisms seep into, yes, as much as in that situation, yes.
Funny you mention Michael Tatum because Michael Tatum is used by directors at Funimation all the time. Like, can you Michael Tatum that up a little bit more? This is more of a Michael Tatum sort of. Give us more of a Michael Tatum read, and everyone knows what that even means.
I did that for Night Eye. I told Brandon, who is Michael Tatum's fiance, I was like, that's, I need somebody who knows Tatum.
Yeah.
When we were auditioning for the show, Tokoyami.
Oh no, did I do that when you auditioned?
Do what? No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that, but when we were auditioning for the show, Toko was not actually one of the sides, so like one of the characters I auditioned for was Ida, and I basically just did my Tatum impression for that character, and then she was like, I didn't know you had that voice. I was like, I've been working on it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
This is my first time here. If you were a dog, what breed of dog would you be?
Aww. I would be a Newfoundland because I'm partial to them and they're big and fluffy and love everybody.
I would be a corgi because they're ADD missiles.
I would be a Papillon because I love them and because they are a little neurotic and hyper intense.
I would be a Great Dane. Because they're like oversized lap dogs. And that's pretty much me.
Let's see. I would be a Shih Tzu.
Because you wanted to say Shih Tzu?
Yeah. That's totally it.
I have French bulldogs at home, and I think that I would definitely want to be one. They're the cutest freaking things, and yes.
You're prettier than French bulldog.
Oh, they're pretty.
Speaking of Michael Tatum, I want to be Michael Tatum's dog.
Spoiled
That's what I
dog
want
on
to
the
be.
planet, yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name's Faith. This is also my first convention.
Welcome.
Welcome.
So this is my usual question I ask always people. Are you left-handed or right-handed in character and in real life? Yeah.
Right-handed both.
Right-handed both.
I'm right-handed. I think May would be left-handed.
I am right-handed, and All Might is ambidextrous, I think.
I think that Mina, I believe she really is some type of alien, so she probably is ambidextrous as well.
I'm the only left-handed guy up here. Sweet.
I'm also left-handed.
I'm left-handed. But the only thing I do with my left hand is write and throw. Like if I shoot pool or go bowling or something like that, I do with my right. So I'm a little ambidextrous, and all my characters are too.
Thank you, and welcome to the convention.
I'm curious, how many people in here is at their first convention? Raise your hand.
Whoa!
Nice! Well, we are so happy to have you. I hope you guys had fun this weekend.
You just joined a really big and awesome family. Welcome to it.
Thank you all. Hey, boss.
Hi, my name is Patrick, and I was wondering just how psyched are you for season 4 and the character development that's going to occur during its span?
That's mine.
My answer to you.
That was all of our answers, I think, Colleen.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty excited up here. Now, this weekend, did they premiere something this weekend?
Yeah, we premiered the mix. It's a mashup of the first, actually not the first two, but 64 and 65. 65 and 66. It's a mashup of those two with none of the next time ons or the flashbacks or anything like that. So there is a little bit of a change from what they saw in LA to what you're gonna see in October. But they did premiere the first 2 episodes and you didn't get to see it. So you guys feel free to be salty online.
Yep. All Might did not die in them yet, so that's good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, he didn't want his candy. He's like, screw you.
You can't get your back.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Calvin. My question is, other than the people you voiced in the show, who would you like to befriend?
I say Jito, because she probably has great taste in music.
Sue, she's just the sweetest.
Froppy.
And the voice actor who plays Froppy.
Yeah.
Dave. Best friend Dave.
Anyone. I think May is just, she's so interested in like what everyone's quirks are and like what their powers are and what they're wearing and what their history is and what are you doing in 5 minutes and can I be on your team and yeah, she would talk to anybody I think.
I would say Deku, except like we're already friends with Deku.
Yes,
Like
his name
Dustin
is Dustin
Briner
Briner.
is Deku, actually.
Yeah.
Hello. Alright. Hey, my name is Justin. I met some of you guys already. I have a question, and I'm trying to think of a way to word this. I already got it in my head. If the villains made some really good propaganda, which heroes do you think would be susceptible for defection?
Anyone that's not in class 1A.
Has to be someone from there.
Oh.
Man. I mean, that's what everybody wants to answer, right, is Bakugo, but he already proved to us that he would not fight. They gave him really good propaganda, and he didn't fight. So I don't think him. I will say the person who looks the most like they should be a villain is Ectoplasm. Mike's hero character, he looks like he should be a villain, but he doesn't. It's hard to say who would defend. Maybe Monoma? Monoma's intentions are not pure, you guys.
Mineta.
The propaganda being just like, headquarters is a strip club.
Yeah, they got
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Hello, I'm Cassidy.
Hello.
What would you say your character's favorite relationship, or what you would hope to be a good relationship between
your character and someone else? Not romance, but platonical, familial.
It can't be romance.
Can't be
It can be romance, it just doesn't have to be.
I totally ship Todoroki and Momo.
Tokoyami and Froppy. Keep the animals together. They both lay eggs. So
I think she likes Ochako.
yeah.
I'm not sure if cement.
It can be workmanship.
They make fire pits out of cement, right? Don't they?
Sure.
Midnight.
Yeah, that's what she said. I was gonna say, I'm not sure. I mean, he loves All Might. That's weird.
He does or you do?
Well, no, the character Cementos is an All Might fanboy, and it's clearly written in there. Damn it.
I think May and Ida need to patch up their relationship. I think they need to go have lunch, something. I mean, it wasn't anything personal. I think they need to just talk it out. It'll be fine.
I said this just a second ago, but Colleen and I were laughing pretty hard when we were recording the movie. Like this relationship between Dave and All Might in the movie. Now, okay, go back and watch the movie again. Like from the very start, he's like, "Oh, Dave, I haven't seen you since college, Dave." And then he has this like little flashback where his outfit falls off, sort of, and like David makes him new clothes, and then when he shows up with his daughter, he's like, "Oh, hey, Dave, I see you have a daughter now." Like, I really think that they dated in college. Like, that's just my theory.
Do you remember how many times we had to get a couple of those lines again because you wouldn't stop going, Dave. Like, no, just say his name, Chris.
I couldn't help it. I was like, they're in love. Like, he's in love with Dave. He's mad that Dave got a girlfriend and had a child who they don't even talk about. He doesn't even go, "How's your mom?"
Yeah.
She's out of the picture now, so.
I think Mina, like I said, she's just such a social butterfly. She just loves it.
Yeah.
That's a thing that everybody goes for, but I'm like,
What about Sato?
which one's that one?
The Sugar Rush, the guy with cake.
That is an adorable little mashup. I like that idea. Yeah. I know. I can see her. They would be good friends. Yeah.
Hello, my name's Cliff.
Hi.
I was in Josh's panel. They were talking about how much you want to know more develop on your character. Which other characters besides your own would you want to see develop next season?
Which do I know get developed?
Well, that would be really nice.
Cementos!
Yeah, I want to see Cementos.
Let's do this! Cement time!
She said cement time.
Cement time. Cement time.
I know what this quirk is now. Really likes All Might, huh?
They asked earlier if there was like, if they were in another show, what their name might be. I was like, I know what his name would be if this was a hentai.
Alexis just leaned over to me and she goes, "All Might would just want him to call him Dave."
You want Ashido to be.
But he said apart from our own character.
Definitely want my
I think this generally, there are a number of classmates in Class 1A that people are just like, well, they look cool, what's their deal?
Exactly. Kind of like.
Yeah.
I want to know more about Invisible Girl.
Yeah.
The world wants to know more about Invisible Girl.
I just want to know what she looks like.
On one hand, I can appreciate a show that doesn't have a lot of filler, because I guess, knowing what each of us, what our backstories are, that might not really progress the story along. So I appreciate a show that doesn't waste our time. It's like, this is all plot furthering, or maybe this one exists, this episode exists just to kind of, it's a breather, laugh at it, because things are about to get real heavy. And I imagine we all have some pretty interesting, possibly tragic stories, so I get why we're not all in the forefront all the time. But I want to know.
Exactly.
Cool. Well, thank you very much. And unfortunately, we are at time. We do apologize to everyone else in line we could not get to.
Oh, you were so cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, what'd you have? Real quick, what'd you have?
What is your biggest obstacle that you've had in your acting career so far?
I'm a girl. Here we go. And realism.
You know, often I find myself is that obstacle a lot of the time, you know. But it's, you know, over time and the experiences you go through. I mean, earlier in my career, I did not take as well a care of it as I try to do today, as far as being somebody you can rely on and be somebody who's good and fun to work with. There have been times in my career where I wished I had taken better care of the idea of it, the business side of it, more so than I did in my 20s.
A lot of what I've had to kind of develop is kind of knowing what your worth is, because at the start you just feel like you're kind of useless, you're kind of worthless as an actor. Especially in Dallas, it's pretty common, especially in the early days, we're just sort of developing, just having to kind of figure out what your value is. Just doing, at a certain point, you just have to go like, I just can't do everything for free anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds selfish, but there's just so many people that take advantage of new talent, and so many people like. So as a studio, I really do try to work hard to make sure everybody, and Funimation is doing this too, but like everyone's trying to kind of make sure things are fair for everybody. And in a non-union state like Texas is, it's a constant struggle to like make a living as an actor. So
I think Chris is a really good proponent of that, and he's one of the reasons that it has become so much better for actors in Dallas, actually.
You get 2 for being our last one. Thank you so much for that.
Yo, DJ, play us out.
Actually, before we go though, real quick, what social media outlets can we individually follow you on? And do you all have any upcoming projects you're allowed to share with us?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at Caitlin's Voice. Please watch Fruits Basket. It will continue all the way through the summer. And come see me at my table. I'll be around until about 4.
I'm Christopher Sabat on Instagram, and just watch anime. You'll find me.
I am Alexis Tipton VA on Twitter and Alexis Tipton Actress on Instagram. I was just announced as Sister Iris in Fire Force, so just premiered recently, the first episode, and then I've got some other stuff coming up that I can't talk about, and I will also be at my table until 4, so come see me.
Right on. Check me out at Rager Coaster on Twitter, like roller coaster, but my name, because I'm clever. And then at Rager080 on Instagram. There's a little game coming out in September called Borderlands 3. You want to check that out? I'm all up in that.
At Josh Grelle on both Twitter and Instagram, and if you haven't already, catch up on the latest season of Attack on Titan. It's been a wild ride. And also, check out Ouran.
And on Twitter, I'm at CCarolBeard. On Instagram, I'm at Clinkenbeard. And Borderlands 3 is coming out, and Mau Mau Heroes of Pure Heart is on Cartoon Network. So watch that one, and then tell people to put more of my character in it.